You know how sometimes you get a very good idea that turns out to be absolutely stupid? We're living currently in in what I've heard some people call the age of third wave feminism. I've never really looked it up myself, but I just piecing things together the way that I'm just grasping it from out there, from the way it is laid out there. This much is what I can understand from it. First wave feminism was female voting rights, which, if I recall correctly, happened in the early 1900s. From the movie what's it called, Mary Poppins. If you have watched Mary Poppins, you know it was set during the suffragette movement, which was when women were fighting for voting rights. This was 1900 something, 5 or 3 thereabouts. Doesn't matter. And then that's what I think. I may be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. You can click on like, but right after you do that, you can click, or you leave a comment to inform me if I'm wrong. Then the second wave feminism, which appears, if I recall correctly, to happen sometime in the 60s or 70s in the United States. The suffragette movement happened during the Industrial Revolution in the UK, London or whatever, I don't know. That's, I mean, from the setting of the movie. The second wave feminism was about, I don't know for sure, I'm just piecing things together in my own head. No fault divorce. In other words, you could divorce for any reason and nobody has to be at fault. Good idea. So you don't have to be worried that you pay for something. I may be wrong, because, well, somebody is paying for the divorce eventually. Most times it's the man or the person who is making the more money, although most times it's the man. I mean, the way it has been, to the best of my knowledge, in places like the US, UK, Canada, and things like that, the man tends to lose half of his income for life. He gets to be probably thrown out of his house. I mean, we saw some of those videos flying around on WhatsApp a couple of years back about men from Africa who, after bringing their wives into the country, are exposed to the worst that the country has to offer with respect to divorce and female rights and all that. And some of these men get so frustrated that they kill their wives and basically waste their own lives. In either they get arrested and locked up, or even kill their own selves. There was a guy I saw, a very sad video. The guy gave the whole narrative about how the woman was exploiting him and all that, and he was like, well, listen, you're going to end me, so there's no point. And he basically drank poison, said he would kill himself so that she would at least stop acting the way she was acting and take care of his child. Some of us may have seen it. It's terrible. That's second wave feminism. Third wave feminism is apparently what we are living through right now. This I understand a bit better, because basically it's based on this woke or social justice warrior ideology or idea or philosophy or whatever it is, which is all about toxic masculinity. Now, the idea of being a man is toxic. What does it mean to be a man? To be strong, to be stoic. You know, you're not as emotional as a woman. Nobody says you don't have emotions, but you're not as emotional as a woman. So you act differently under the same conditions of temperature and pressure. I like that line, because mechanical engineering and all that. So, and okay, toxic feminism, toxic masculinity, then feminism, as opposed to femininity. You know, there is a huge difference. Huge. And then we now have what is the natural outcome? Simple question. What is the inevitable natural outcome? This was apparently, according to Barack Obama a few years back, echoed by so many other people, including Candace Owens. Broken homes. Fatherless homes, more and more children growing up without daddies, more and more men ending up in prison, More and more women believing they can go alone, go it alone, raising children, which is completely antithetical to the design of God. Okay, God did design the woman to be able to handle the children, but understanding the vision was always given to the man. Before Eve ever was formed, the Lord said, "Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it." He had not created the woman yet. That vision was given to the man. Then the woman was taken out of the man, formed and brought to him. And a chapter later, chapter 3 of Genesis, when the devil was grilling Eve and about to cause her to commit that sin, Eve is giving him answers to statements, or rather, from statements that God had given to Adam earlier. So clearly, Adam had shared the vision with her. The vision was given to him, and his job is to share it with her, which echoes what Jesus was what the Bible was talking about in Ephesians chapter 5, where it talks about the job of the husband is to love his wife the same way Christ loved the church and gave himself for it, that he may cleanse her through the washing of water by the word. You see, the word that is given to him is what he's going to use to perfect his wife, to remove the blemish, the stains, the imperfections in her. But when she is not listening to him, when she believes she does not need him, it's like a chicken without a head. Listen, it's not as if women are not capable, but that is not the design. The design is not for her to lead. And I know that we're in a new, and I know that so many people are so, they are so, if you mention it now, pastors, in churches, anywhere in society. But the truth is the truth. God did not design it that way. I'm not saying God cannot work with it that way, but that is not the design. So if God chooses to take something that is broken and use it to his glory, that does not mean that everything that is broken is supposed to be used in that same capacity. So the fact that, for example, Moses came before the burning bush and the Lord spoke to him through the burning bush, "Take off the shoes from off your feet, for the place where you are standing is holy ground," does not mean that everybody who comes to that same place must take off their shoe. No, that was just what was given to Moses at that time. So, for example, the fact that God chose Rebecca to be to be a judge, not necessarily, not even a leader, because when there was a job to do, I think it was Sisera. Sisera was called. Was it Sisera? Forgive my name. Forgive me. Was called, and she gave the message to him. You are the person that is called to do the job. Her job was to give the message. She wasn't a ruler. She wasn't a leader. She was a judge. So many good ideas that turn out to be foolish because we are wise in our own eyes rather than trusting and waiting for God. So many people now coming up with their own ideas. I don't believe, listen, let this be what ends me, but it is the truth. The Bible literally says it verbatim. Verbatim. I did not give the woman permission to usurp authority over the man. Go and argue it with the Bible. Go and argue it with God. And there's this passage I stumbled upon years ago, and I've been quiet about it for a long time. Isaiah chapter 3 verse, verse 12? Which says, "As for my people, women," children are their leaders, and women rule over them. "O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of your paths." If you want to argue with the story, argue with it. From Genesis through Revelation, the Bible does not falter. It does not change. It just shows that sometimes God can choose to do things differently. But now, how are you? You want to say that it was God? Well, are you doing it? Is it God that called you, or are you doing what you feel like doing? Because so many people are busy doing what they feel like doing, and then they will come and meet Jesus in that day and say, "We did these mighty works in your name," and Jesus is going to be like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know you. I didn't call you. You called you. And you're on your own." So listen. What's the natural outcome of feminism? Broken homes, broken families, poorly raised children. I'm not saying some good children haven't been raised from such homes, but the design is that the man should lead, that the husband and the wife should work together to raise God's children. Yes, they are not your children, they are God's children. We have always been God's own, and even though it was sex that brought us here, or through sex, so to speak, we have always been designed by God before we are formed in our mother's womb. There are no accidents. God knows what is happening. Even the very terrible and painful experiences, God knows what He's doing. He designed it before He asked you for your permission. And if I were you, I would rediscover my path to God and learn what God designed, learn my place in it, and work according to God's design. That's when I'm going to get the best outcomes. If I be lifted up according to Jesus Christ, I will draw all men to me. That's what Jesus said. So if we lift Jesus up by listening to Him, obeying Him, honoring Him with our words, thoughts, deeds, He will draw all men to Him. He will bring about the victory that we need as a world. We are getting to that time. We are in that age where something's got to change. The world is falling apart around us and we see it. We cannot deny it. So the key, femininity rather, is intended to help complete the man, so that the man can achieve the purpose for which humanity was created. Feminism, this third wave rebellion thing, started like a good idea. I wanted to talk about that, and I will. Started like a good idea, female voting rights. But what does that mean? What you're saying is that you have a right to disagree with your husband. Well, you do, doesn't mean it's a good idea. It's a free world. You have a right to do anything you want to do. But it's a stupid idea, because what you're saying is that you're going to disagree with your husband. And God literally said that He is your head. Imagine a body disagreeing with its head. The body dies. Well, the head will likely die too. I'd say it seemed like a good idea back then. But every outworking of it has been evil. Now we have divorces, and we have broken homes, and we have families falling apart, community falling apart, society falling apart, the nations falling apart, the earth falling apart, humanity falling apart. The result of thinking I'm smarter than God. You're not. And the word does not change, does not compromise just because you feel it should. I'll challenge you, rediscover your path, rediscover your way. Go back to your first love. Go back to that original design. You think you're smart because you're making money, because you have a big career, and people are looking up to you, and people are clapping for you, and mankind is giving you awards and accolades and recognition. There's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the ends thereof are the ways of death. I would urge you, whoever you are, male or female, rediscover your path, rediscover your place in God. Let Him be the one who leads you. Restructure your life according to God's design. Then you will have good success, and then you will make your way prosperous. Yeah, I'm co-opting the passage. Nevertheless, that's the message. I've been wanting to say this for a while, so now I have. I expect this to be controversial. I expect this to bring about arguments and fights. So yeah, bring it on. The only thing that will come back at you for most part is probably verses from the Bible. And if you can quote for me verses from the Bible that disprove what I'm saying, good for you. We'll have the discussion, and God will be glorified. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Click on like and subscribe and share. And have a wonderful day.